So let's now add these features here to the game. And we could, of course, try adding them all in one single prompt, one single follow-up message. Alternatively, you can of course also create multiple messages. Now here I will go for multiple messages, but I'll combine the first two enhancements into one message. I'll say enhance the game by allowing the user to choose a username when the program starts. So not when a new round starts or when a new game starts, but when we start this overall program, when we execute this file, when we execute this command here, basically. So that's this first enhancement. And now in the same prompt, I'll also add this second enhancement here. The last enhancement will then be added in a separate prompt later. So here to also add this second enhancement, I'll write also add difficulty levels. The player should be able to choose between 3 levels that affect the damage and heal values. Now if we execute this prompt, ChatGPT will go ahead and will give us updated game code, which then hopefully includes these new features. So now here it's done generating that code, quite a bit of code. I'll copy it and again replace my existing code with the new code. And with that replaced, as before, we can execute it. And now indeed I am asked to enter a username, and I'll enter Max here. And then here it also allows me to choose a difficulty level, and I'll start with easy. And now if I choose a strong attack, you see I really did a lot of damage to the monster, and the monster did not do a lot of damage to me. And indeed here, if I just spam regular attacks, I almost won. It's a bit closer than I might have thought, but I almost won already. And now with the regular attack, I did win. So I did not try too hard and I won, so it doesn't look too difficult. Now I'll start again, and it asks me for the username again, and that's of course now wrong. I wanted it to ask me when the program starts, not whenever I start a new game. So that's not what it should do. Therefore, I'll quit this here by pressing Ctrl+C, and I go back to ChatGPT, and it didn't finish its response here, but that's not too important here. And I'll send it a follow-up message where I'll say, the game does not work as intended. It's asking for the username whenever a new game starts. It should only ask once when the program starts initially. This hopefully clarifies what the problem is and how the program should be improved. In addition, I found easy to be a bit more challenging than I thought it to be, so I'll also say, also make the easy difficulty level a bit easier. I think this difficulty level should basically be won by simply spamming regular attacks. Now you could argue about this, but for this example, for this demo here, that's how I would like to have this game behave. So therefore now here, I send this updated prompt and it then tells me what it does here or how the code should be adjusted. And it then gives me the adjusted code again, which then includes these adjustments here. Alternatively, we could of course also go ahead and try to make these adjustments in the existing code without replacing it entirely again. But since it gives me the updated code here, I'll just wait for this updated code to be generated. So I'll wait until it's done generating that code, and I'll then give this updated code a try. Now here, since the code got quite long and it added these extra explanations at the beginning here for me, it actually did not finish generating this updated code. It got stuck in between, and you of course learned about this potential problem you might be facing when working with ChatGPT earlier in the course already. And you can typically just send continue to ChatGPT to have it continue with its response, but here, since we're dealing with code, I'll write continue and format the code as code. And this hopefully ensures that it gives me that right formatting here, and it does not continue without formatting. So here, this is looking good. And with all of that done, we can now copy this updated code here. Again, replace our code, but now also add this continued code here. So copy this as well and add this right here where it stopped with the code before. That's really important that you add it in the right place. And with this, again, we can try running that game. Enter a username, choose easy, and here I'll just spam regular attacks. And looks like I'm losing, so that's still not enough. I'll heal, use a strong attack, and I lost. And nonetheless, I'll start another game, and I'm not getting asked to enter my username again, so that's good. That works as intended. And now here I'll try a bit harder and use some strong attacks and also heal myself, use a regular attack. And man, this is really hard. This is really difficult. So I definitely want this to be easier. Hence, I'll add another follow-up message and I'll say the game should be way easier on easy difficulty. The player's attacks should do way more damage and heal should heal more. The monster should do less damage. I'll send this and again I'll get updated code, which then hopefully is easier. And this is how you use ChatGPT. That is totally normal. Of course, you could also dive into the code yourself and you could try tweaking it. Even if you have no programming experience, you can probably see that these numbers here seem to be related to the damage values and that there is a difficulty multiplicator here. And indeed, you could try tweaking that or try tweaking the code. But of course, if you have no programming experience, even if you can see where the damage seems to be calculated, this might still be fairly tricky. And therefore, it is quite normal to go back and forth with ChatGPT and to send message after message and to tweak the application by sending multiple messages. This is how it simply works. But this is also what makes ChatGPT so powerful. You can build programs without having tons of programming experience or even without having any programming experience. Even though, as also mentioned earlier in the course already, ChatGPT of course becomes even more powerful when you use it for programming if you have some programming experience. But here we're simply chatting with ChatGPT to hopefully ultimately get the game we want to get. And here it's stuck again, so I'll again write continue, but keep the code formatting. And it then hopefully gives me the missing code. Let's see. Yep, here it continues. And I'll copy this updated code here, replace the existing code, and then also copy that code that it basically did not output. Paste it in here, right here, where it ended. Save this. And give this another try. Enter my username, choose easy. And now here, finally, it seems to be a bit easier. And I'm asked whether I want to play again, and I don't have to enter my username again. So that's all looking good, and we can play this game and defeat this monster.